All right, forging the narrative here. As you've seen in the previous missions, the Hrud have gotten their asses stomped, other than once when they almost obliterate Space Wolves. And so, forging the narrative here, Lady Dis, the succubus, who's one ugly succubus, she's actually managed to eliminate all of her rivals, and has in game. She's
Just as planned.
just as planned. The Lord Homunculus died, and she witnessed it. She was sitting there in her venom, watching his death. And Captain Bell, her former captain, he's dead. And she hasn't lost many of her own. Mostly the ones who have died have been mutated humans. So she is now the sole warlord left in the Hrud side. So she's in charge. She's been uninjured, never even suffered a wound in the campaign. And so she's Machiavellianly manipulated, and now thinks that she's going to try to take out the Space Wolves because this is their chance. If they don't do it, she's realized that this is not a good force to come marching into your underground city. So she's hopefully lured the Space Wolves into a trap where stage 1 they can wipe out the current force of Space Wolves, and then stage 2 is going to be the last battle, which is our Apocalypse mission, and it is either going to be on the strike cruiser or in the Hrud city, depending on who wins. So Lady Dis here this is in the Shadow Warp here, and we're in this cavern. Space Wolves are coming in on this side. They've been following her, but she's, in her mind, set a devious trap where on the way in to the Hrud city, they have defense batteries set up, and she's going to attempt to lure the Space Wolves in and then wipe them out. And so we're running the Stronghold Assault, final mission in Stronghold Assault, where the defender sides, that's the Hruds, have fortifications. There's 3, so there's strongholds. And it's kind of a kill team mission where you get victory points for everyone killed, but I have to start with the last man standing, which is the sort of the grotesque she's left behind to hold off the Space Wolves. And she brilliantly had an entire squad of grotesques at the end of the last mission, which were given to her by the Lord Homunculus, who suffered an unfortunate thunderhammer to the head. So she's positioned them here, and they're going to be in these bunkers, which look very Imperial, and that's because the Hrud have been stealing Imperial resources for the last 10,000 years, and have just been building stuff with them. So they've got these here. This unfortunately, without the Imperial technology, doesn't run. So it's aiming the wrong way, and it's glued in place, so it actually can't rotate. So these are bastions, and then this was camouflaged until the opponent arrives, and it's a what are those things called? I'll have to look it up what it's actually called, but it essentially is a battle cannon.
Defense point or whatever the heck it is?
Yeah, it's one of those defense points, and it's a battle cannon. So we haven't resolved your warlord trait or
My warlord trait's fixed.
your warlord trait's fixed. Oh, so this
Because
previous.
I got the same warlord as last battle. He has
Okay.
outflank.
That is a vengeance battery, and my warlord trait is fixed because it's the same as last battle. And we haven't figured out if it's night fighting, and you don't have any psychers this time, and I clearly don't. So what I have to do is roll for them and my combat drugs, and we will be set.
Yeah.
So these are the Space Wolves who are chasing the Hrud down into the tunnels.
A squad of Grey Hunters,
Yep.
power weapon, 2 Melta-Guns, and a Rhino. Same thing there. Got 5 Long Fangs.
This was previously damaged to the mission, and they just yanked that broken turret off it.
Broke the breaking bits off, turned it into a Rhino.
Turned it into a Rhino.
Also known as, I couldn't go into my bedroom at 6 o'clock this morning when my girlfriend was sleeping and dig my Rhino out of it.
Yeah, it happens.
5 Long Fangs with missile launchers in a Razorback with las cannons. And
Okay.
then 5 Long Fangs with las cannons in a Razorback with las cannons.
You guys fixed that in the
We
previous
fixed that,
mission.
yes.
Yep.
And then these are a squadron.
Squadron of land speeders.
Squadron of land speeders. 5 Thunderwolf cavalry this time. Usual loadout. The only thing that changed from last mission, I added a guy with a power sword.
Guy with the power sword.
And then Skull Tire Quickblade is back.
He's back. He's a previous warlord, right?
And
That's your Iron Priest?
yeah, Gunter Ironclaw. And then
Who lost his Cyberwolves in the previous mission.
Hrothgar, my venerable dreadnought.
That hideous venerable dreadnought that just will not die, or even take wounds, even though he's It's just getting beat down. All right, and so, yeah, you deploy first, so we'll cover where you are. If you can't place something, it has to go in reserves.
Yes, sir.
And I can't use webway portals because we're essentially in the webway.
Bum, bum, bum.
All right, the Space Wolves have entered the cavern and encountered the first line of defense with the Vengeance Battery and the 2 bastions. Now that las cannon on the roof doesn't work. The heavy bolters do, though. And the heavy bolters will be fired by the bastions because the grotesques have a ballistic skill of 1. These guys deploy out of their... out of this one?
Sure.
Their nearest Razorback. Taking up a safe point on this piece of Xenos technology. Those guys deployed out of
The other Razorback.
this Razorback, crawling up on top of here before. Apparently, I didn't even notice to start shooting at them. And got their missile launcher. It's very stealthy. It was dark until they lit it up with flares. And because there's no night fighting, even though we're in a cavern. Guys are still in here.
So it's lit by
Guys
the
are in
glow
there.
of your effervescent aura. Well,
It's lit by this giant glowing rock of
or
warpstone.
that.
Warpstone. And so we're going to see if the Hrud can steal the initiative because they'd like to shoot first. All right, can I seize? No. All right, which means the shooting begins. Oh, and so what have I got, just so we know? There's a grotesquerie in either of these, and then there's a bunch of Trueborn and a Venom, so specialist Nocturnal Warriors of Hrud. And those are my last standing, or last man standing, or whatever it's called, the units that are worth extra points. And the only ones who can be on the board on round 1. So it could be a bad day for the Hrud. We'll see how it goes. This building's probably going to blow up. Everything came forward. We're treating this as non-dangerous terrain. Those rhinos pull up to there, moving 12 inches. And we're on to the shooting phase, because there's no psychics in this game. None at all. All right, shoot away. All right, it didn't turn out as bad for the Hrud as we could have possibly conceived. This building has 2 hits. It's been shaken with tremors. The grotesques inside only hit on 6s now. But at ballistic skill 1, that's all they hit at anyways. And if they chose to disembark, they could only come out 3 inches. But they're not going to. And that was all the shooting. I mean, it's pretty much just like waves of missiles and las cannons hit this thing, and it is where it is. So we're on to my movement and all that stuff. All right, my entire movement was to shift this vehicle over here a little bit so that it's got line of sight at one of those rhinos. They both pop smoke, and we're on to my shooting phase. And the shooting is done. I killed the guy with the missile launcher, I killed the las cannon, and I did a hull point with a heavy bolter to that thing.
And he's stunned.
And he's stunned.
Whole point here, and he's mobilized.
He's immobilized, yeah. And that was it. So now we're on to round 2 for the Space Wolves. You have reserves.
Just one.
Just one.
They're in.
They're in.
1, 2 left, 3, 4 right, 5, 6 my choice.
Yep.
On the right-hand side. I'll take it.
Coming out of the cavern?
No.
Oh, no, your right-hand side. Yes, that side. Outflanking as they come in with the Thunderwolves. This guy drives skillfully around this piece of terrain. These guys they can't move very far. This thing drives over to here. These guys do their 12-inch move. They outflank in out of the side of the cavern, coming up right behind the Venom, and we're on to the shooting phase, where shooting occurs.
Okay.
All right, in the shooting phase, this building finally collapses, total collapse, after it was shot again. This guy, just as in the previous mission, cannot hit anything. Soon he'll be hitting his own guys. That's what he does. When it totally blows up and collapses, one guy takes 2 wounds, and then we're on to assault phase. You got nothing, and
Yeah, I can't assault with anything yet.
this thing also suffered a penetrating hit from a snap-firing Meltagun, and it's stunned. But the guys on board are fine. All right, in the movement phase, this thing sits right where it was. These guys come pouring out of their building. Sorry, there's one more. Just put him right here. Why? Yeah, put him here. All right, sorry. In the movement phase, these guys come out of their building. This building's been wrecked. These guys come out, and they're trying to set up so that they can charge this tank, and hopefully they don't fail their charge, which would be epic. And then the last mission, they failed their charge so many times.
It doesn't matter, because he can't hit anything
Yeah, he
anyway,
can't. This walks right on, this giant worm, which is a parasite engine. These guys deep strike flawlessly here. This thing did not deep strike flawlessly, but didn't immobilize itself.
It's actually on top of the pillar, yes?
Yeah, I just shifted the pillar over.
Oh,
It pushes it.
sure.
Because otherwise it makes no sense. Though I would have awesome line of sight from way up on top of that.
Yes, you would.
And so we're on to the shooting phase, where we'll see if I can accomplish anything with shooting. So in the shooting phase, I actually got first blood. I blew up a rhino. And 30 poison shots into the Thunderwolves. Don't accomplish anything. Not a single, twin-linked, by the way. For 20 of them, doesn't do anything. Nothing at all.
I'm just using that as a marker for as far
Yeah.
as
So we killed that rhino, and we killed like one guy inside, right? Yeah.
Yes, one guy.
And they're pinned. Hey. Yeah. So there's that, and then
There we go. See, they all fit inside a Rhino chassis.
they do fit inside a rhino chassis.
As long as there's 9. 10 would have been a challenge.
And then the battle cannon fired over there, totally missed. We lost one Hellion when the rhino blew up, and that's where we are. So we're on to my assault phase. All right, so the Akathis tears this rhino to pieces. Guys jump out. Those people are pinned. I failed the charge by 1 inch because I went for a multi-charge, charging that first because it was closer. And then the most epic failure. This same unit was in the previous game, basically, and they failed to charge this, I don't remember, 2 or 3 rounds in a row. And they failed this time also. Once again, rolling a 6 when they needed a 7. And terrible. So freaking sad.
Terrible.
So yeah, that grotesquerie fails. And so I got first blood, so I'm at 1 point on the top.
1 to 1. Yay.
1 to 1, I think. I think he gets 1 point per thing destroyed. We'll find out.
Well, you've got
soon.
2 points because you've destroyed 2 units right now.
Oh, that's true. I got 3 points, so I got first blood and destroyed.
Yes,
yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
sir, yes,
Okay. And that's where we are at the top of round 3. All right, so these guys are pinned in this nice, I wish I had a flamer formation. These guys come walking around the corner here because they're going to try to take that out. Oh, he falls back? Because he doesn't want to get charged by these things. That guy's there. That one's immobilized. The other guy's no longer stunned. These guys come crawling up on the train. One of them trips and falls, but his shield saves him somehow. And we're on to shooting for round 3. Round 3. The lone Iron Priest kills one of the Hellions, who are mostly facing away from him. This thing jinks, dodging a penetrating hit from a bolter, or a glancing hit from a bolter. This thing loses 2 hull points, not from the Meltas, but from bolters alone, actually.
Yes.
I lost a Grotesque from the Grotesquerie thanks to the Demolisher Cannon. First time it hit them this game.
First time I hit anything this
Yeah,
game.
well, yeah, pretty much. And that was it for shooting, so it wasn't a huge number of deaths, but we'll see what happens in the assault phase. In the assault phase, he slaughters the Hellions. Actually, he only slaughters them by running them down, though, because of a Hammer of Wrath. Otherwise, it would have been a tie, and they would have hit and run. This Raider gets trashed by crack grenades. The Venom gets trashed by Wolves. Wolves it is. And that was the combat phase. This guy took 1 wound. He tried to smash the Wolf Lord. He failed. He rolled a 1. And it is on to my turn 3, where I might get reserves. Bottom of round 3, I've got a modified reserve roll for this mission, so not everything came in very well. Another Raider comes in and goes flying way back and hits that wall, but doesn't immobilize itself. My other Parasite and Talos don't come in. My HQ and stuff, they come in with these Reavers. Whoa. That was it. So we're on to the shooting phase, because movement, they're going after that Vindicator still.
My non-shooting Vindicator?
Yeah, the one, so I can get charged by the Blizzard Dread.
So many models.
Yeah. See front armor 13?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, 12.
12. Not that it matters. Yeah. So we're on to shooting. In the shooting phase, Lady Dis uses the Animus Vitae and fails. This cannon finally does something. Stuns that Vindicator.
Did nothing to that.
Did nothing to that because of terrain. In the shooting phase, we knocked that down to 2 guys. Did they run away? They're at -1 from Freakish Spectacle, but they could care less. We killed the Iron Priest. And that was the extent of it. But it was productive for a shooting phase. And so now we're going to get into assaults.
Because that would be crazy.
That would be crazy. All right, so the Parasite engine just gets hammered to death with the Thunderhammer. These two Marines are violently fighting an entire squadron of grotesques. That guy's tongue, his teeth are stuck in that stalagmite. Do we have any other combat? Oh, yeah, I wrecked the Vindicator, who's really got no function in life anyways other than to shoot his own guys.
Yeah.
So it was on to round 4 where you have no reserves, but you can move.
Yay.
All right, so here's what happens. The Warlord breaks off and goes here to try to kill Lady Dis, crippling the Hood and ending their murderous campaign. Thunderwolves come here. Those guys don't move anywhere, they just hang out.
Oh, I forgot about them.
You forgot about them because there's only 2 of them and they're inconspicuous.
Yeah.
They'll move.
Sure.
The Blizzard Dread comes in here because he's going to kill himself some grotesques, and he probably will.
How far do they move?
And
move
they
5
move a
inches.
long way.
So they're like right there.
Okay, they're on top of that
Yeah,
terrain.
one's way, blah, blah,
Those
blah.
guys hang out there, they hang out there, and so we're going to see what happens on the shooting phase. Ineffectual shooting, not enough to... Did you kill anything? Oh, you killed 2 Nocturnal Warriors of Hood with guns, and that was it for shooting. So, wow.
Assaults.
Assaults it is. Blizzard Dread rolls a double 1. No, he considered it, but he's in. And what else? They're assaulting here? Assaulting there. All right, so here's what happens. The Wolf Lord on the Thunderwolf makes a tactical error of his own. Not rules-wise, he should have been okay, but he failed all his saves and killed the homunculus.
Failed all his 2-up saves.
2-up saves. Yeah, he was killed by a homunculus and wipes out both the Nocturnal Warriors and the Trueborn. And the Trueborn are one of my initial squads, so they're worth D3 victory points for you.
Okay, we'll remember that later.
Yeah, we'll do this at the end. We'll do all the points at the end. I do 2 whole points to you? So you got 1 left, and then I'm fearless, so I just got some... I got dice here. That's because the guys were injured.
A guy was wounded.
But they just got instant killed by the Blizzard Dread. So there's 2 guys left there. And in this grotesque battle, the unbelievable happens. Mac was like, I'm just going to pick my guys up. But no, they all made their saves
Yeah,
against a
8 saves.
crazy number of attacks. So now we're on to my turn 4.
Your turn 4, sir.
The assault phase. Oh, the movement phase. Flies to there. All these guys, I got to kill these wolves. They're important. They're locked in combat. The pain engine walks on here. We're not sure who's winning. We're going to figure that out at the end.
Yeah, sure.
It's a mass slaughter bloodbath. And so we're on to shooting. The bloodbath continues. Killed the wolf and put a wound on. Actually, we put a wound on all but the center guy. Killed his buddy.
One of the 2 guys.
Yeah, he doesn't run. And we're on to the assault phase. They're locked in. We hit that one.
But I saved.
But it's saved. But it took a glance from Heavy Bolter,
Yes,
so
it
it's
did.
down to 1 hull point and still immobilized. And so we're on to the assaults. Let's do the one that I'm probably going to lose. All right. At the end of turn 4, I finally killed those 2 Marines, and he squishes the grotesquerie. He's going to get lots of points for this. It's going to be a close game. Actually, it won't. You're probably going to win. But Lady Dis's squad of bikes are all killed by guys who deny armor saves. Wait,
Claw.
I thought Wolfclaw was fighting her.
No.
Oh, it was Chainsword that's fighting
Sword
her.
guy's fighting her, yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's got the little
Gotcha.
dealie on his
So she
face,
ended.
the
Yes,
pack
yes.
leader.
So he was in a challenge. She lost, but she stuck it in the combat, and we're on to round 5.
Yeah. Movement.
All right, movement. Lone guys there, and that's it, right?
Yeah, Dreadnought shuffled up.
Dreadnought
he
shuffled,
back
those
here,
shuffle.
That moved a little that way.
That moves, and we're on to the shooting phase. Shooting phase was completely uneventful. He couldn't do anything to this.
Couldn't penetrate it.
Couldn't penetrate it. No penetration. All right, moving on to the assault phase. All right. The apocalypse mission is going to be interesting. I've lost my last named character. Lady Dis is dead. They won that combat. That guy didn't even make the charge.
We got shot down.
He got shot down by a splinter rifle. And we're on to my movement.
Your turn 5.
All right. Does my last unit come in? Yes. On my turn, the Parasite engine comes in. I rolled well enough. He moves to there. This Grotesquerie is going to try to take out Hrothgar, the Guy with 1 hull point left. That thing shifts a little bit so that it can actually shoot him but not be destroyed by missile launchers. This thing still exists, and we're on to the shooting phase. In the shooting phase, this thing can't hurt anything, so it doesn't really shoot anything. This battle cannon hits Hrothgar, fails. The splinter rifles off this boat take out the last 2 wolves, and the flamer did 1 wound from the parasite engine. And we're on to the assault phase, where I might regret this, but the grotesques are going to charge Hrothgar. Okay, so what happens? I fail to charge, and is there a turn 6? Yes.
Because why not?
Because why not? Alright, Hrothgar. I want to see him fail. Fail! You got more movement?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Some other moves. Hrothgar moves to here. These guys fly over so they can draw line of sight to that highly blocked boat, raider, and that's it. So he's on to shooting, and shooting will happen. So in the shooting phase, this got glanced. It's the only thing that made it through, and other than that, Hrothgar's going to make the charge. How far is his charge?
6 inches.
6 inches. He should be in. All right, he completely destroys this building. Total collapse. No surprise since it's immobile. And it is my turn, so we'll see what I can accomplish. I've got 1 building left, and we'll see what we can do. Okay, so movement. Moves to there, moves to there. They're stringing at that thing because I need to get the kill points. And we're going to go on to the shooting phase. Oh, this guy remains here, and those guys disembarked, which would allow it to turbo boost because they disembarked and it never moved. Yeah. Okay, if I understand the rules correctly. And so we're going to go into shooting, where he shoots that thing. Wait, your armor is 12?
12.
Okay, so it's twin linked. He will miss. So he only charges this, because I failed with that guy. So it's simultaneous punching. Hrothgar hits me 3 times. Wounds on 2s. 3 wounds. Do I feel no pain myself out of this? Once. So I got 1 wound left.
Yep.
1 hit.
It hits.
Hits. It pens.
Hrothgar saves.
Friggin' A, Hrothgar saves. Okay. And so that is where it is. The game does not end. Okay. So we are where we are. All right. And I got I turbo boosted back there in case I wanted to line break. This is the last turn.
Yes, sir, it is.
All right, so movement. They fly to here because they're going to try to get line breaking. That shifts back. He's still locked in combat with 1 hull point left, and we are on to the shooting phase, where shooting happens. Mac brought lots of long fangs, hoping to blow up my buildings, and so far the darkness that's not really here has foiled them. I only took one small hull point, and now we're just on to combat, because everything else did nothing. So Hrothgar and this guy. Smash. Hits.
Nothing.
Fails.
1 hit. 2 hits. 2 wounds.
2 wounds, and he's dead.
So it'll eat me 3 inches back around the edge of that. Face my front towards your heat lances and shit.
Yep. All right. So he kills parasite engine, and then we're on to stuff. Okay. So on to my turn, the last turn. It's a brutal bloodbath. He goes to there, so you can shoot at this thing. To Grotesqueries over here. Okay, doesn't want to stand there. So we can get a clear charge of 9 inches, which we have not been able to accomplish. The Nocturnal Warriors jump back in that raider. It flies over 6 inches so that it can shoot through the rocks into that immobilized Razorback, because I don't trust that these guys will get the charge. And so we're on to the shooting phase, where shooting happens. These guys, I took out a bunch of those guys, but not enough. Well, enough, but they didn't break. Take out Hrothgar with the heat lance on a glance, and then these guys are going to do a 9-inch charge. And there we go.
There you go.
A 9-inch charge.
So I'll give you that as a wreck rather than go through already.
They auto hit, and he gave it to me, but I rolled anyways, and it's tore it apart. So let's do points. See what we got. All right. So point wise, just so we score it right, we both got Warlord and we both got Linebreaker. I got First Blood, so I'm 1 point ahead. Then he got, how many points did you get for the last stance, the D6 rolls?
4. Here's the question. Does the Venom count as that as well?
No. It's got to be infantry unit.
Okay.
So he gets 4 bonus points for that, and I killed 10 of his units. Then then you killed 11 of mine. So that puts you ahead. I got 2 bonus points for this. So I would have a total of 13 points.
So 16-13.
16-13. So you will win by 3. So it's actually a marginal victory. But that means the Space Wolves are going to come pouring into the Hrud homeland and attempt to annihilate them in the last game.
I don't know